1st Parachute Regiment. They came in advance, secured key ground. You've seen one of the bridges there, and the second bridge was Chef Dupont, and they were key to the whole peninsula here. Once they secured these areas and got the troops in, they were going to cut off the peninsula here, because down to our right is Cherbourg, and that was a key component of the invasion. So it was a deep port, so all the heavy ships and all the heavy equipment, once it was secured by the Allies, they could start shipping all their stuff in from there. Utah was a late addition to the main effort, and that's the reason it was to secure, because they realised once we got the troops and boots on the ground, you need to sustain them, and that's where the heavy ships had to come in to move the effort then further in across France. Killed in action on the event was 200, and that was a third of what they were planning for. In the planning stages, they reckoned they could lose between 600 and 700 troops here. The reason the numbers were low, they actually came up 1.5 miles away from their planned beach landing, and that was because of the strong currents. They drifted the ships down, so when they come up on the beach, and it was pure luck, they were actually in between German positions. Because of the bombardment, the Germans had no comms, so they completely missed the landing force here. So they were actually up on the beach before the Germans engaged with them. They got a good foothold, engaged with the Germans didn't know. Obviously enough, the command and control was wiped out with the Germans, so that's why their numbers were kept, their killed in action was kept to 200, a minimum. Thanks, Mookie. That's why I'm bringing you with me. The commander was General Barton, and one of his sub-commanders was Roosevelt. He was the son of the American president. He was a bit flamboyant. He was known for, in the middle of gun battles and that, walking around as rounds were going around him. He was that type of leader. Politician. He was, yeah. But what he done was, he inspired a lot of his troops, and when he came up onto the beach and when they realised they were in their actual wrong position, his quote was, "We'll start the war from here." So that was his attitude to the whole event. He carried on regardless. He was promised a major command position later on in the invasion, but he actually died of a heart attack when the Germans were counter-attacking. He suffered a massive heart attack, and both him and his brother are buried here in France. Okay, so the units that made up the 4th Army was the 8th Infantry Regiment, the 12th Infantry Regiment, and the 22nd Infantry Regiment, and they were augmented by the paratroopers, so the 82nd and the 101st. Through and through, they got a lot of luck, and that's why when they engaged with the enemy was completely in disarray at that stage, and like I said, they were on the beach, set up and ready to go before the Germans even realised that they were here. So it was a major achievement for them, and it kept their casualties down low. You seen back in Saint-Maur, where the paratroopers, that was the 101st arrived there. The 82nd were inserted further in, so they took the bridge Chef Dupont. That was their objective, and also there was an artillery battery there. They engaged and took them out also. Okay? They sailed from Falmouth, which was on the south coast of England, and they came to the disembarking here on the beach. When they got here, the mine sweepers had been here the night before, and if you think about it, the path that was cleared for them, they were 1.5 miles outside that. One of the ships, one of the landing craft, they lost. There was only one of them hit a mine, so they were throughout the whole thing, they were entirely lucky with that. They lost 4 tanks on that ship, but the rest managed to get up onto here. What they had was the Sherman tanks, and what they done was they took the turret off the Sherman tank and they put an artillery barrel on it, a 105. And the reason for that, obviously enough, the tank is direct fire, and with the artillery barrel at 105, they were able to engage at the targets inside. So that's what they converted the Sherman tanks into. Okay? Shine.